This isn't the first time we've seen an elephant fly, but it's not exactly how you may remember. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 biggest changes in Dumbo 2019.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we're taking a look at alterations in Tim Burton's live-action version of Dumbo that deviate from the original 1941 animated classic. Number 10. Dumbo's name.
Jumbo? You mean Dumbo?
Although Mrs. Jumbo names her baby Jumbo Jr., the other elephants dub him Dumbo due to his large ears in the 1941 film. Even Dumbo's only friend, Timothy Q. Mouse, refers to him as Dumbo, despite the nickname's mean-spirited origins.
Dumbo the Great!
In the remake, rather than receiving his nickname from another elephant, a few letters on a sign fall out of place, changing Jumbo to Dumbo. This encourages the crowd to taunt Dumbo, resulting in his mother bringing down the tent. Instead of just getting locked up like she does in the first film, Mrs. Jumbo is sold back to her original owner. Knowing how much the little elephant misses his mama, Millie and Joe decide that it may be better to call him Dumbo, as Jumbo Jr. would just remind him of her. Number 9. Where babies come from.
Here is a baby with eyes of blue, straight from heaven right to you.
It's the question every child eventually asks their parents. Where do babies come from? For parents who don't want to get into the technicalities just yet, the old stork legend is the easiest answer. This is apparently how reproduction works in the original Dumbo, as several zoo animals receive their offspring via stork delivery, including Mrs. Jumbo. The remake takes a more realistic approach, or at least as realistic as a movie with a flying elephant can be. Mrs. Jumbo is actually pregnant at the beginning of the film and is set to give birth any day. Although a flock of storks fly by around the same time Dumbo is born, it's clear that baby animals don't drop out of the sky in this universe.
Welcome to the circus.
Number 8. Dreamland.
Come with me.
The biggest changes in Burton's Dumbo primarily take place in the second act. Like its animated predecessor, the remake's first half sets a majority of the action at the circus. Once word gets out about Dumbo's flying talents, though, the characters are taken away from the circus and to an amusement park called Dreamland. Where the circus is whimsical yet quaint, Dreamland is grand and bombastic. Although it seems like a dream come true at first, a nightmare is actually boiling beneath the surface. While Dreamland wasn't in the original film, its presence here helps to create a contrast between the simple circus life and the corporate world. Come to think of it, parts of Dreamland actually look like attractions you might find at Disneyland.
Together, we can soar on that elephant's wings.
Number 7. Dumbo doesn't get drunk.
Here, take a trunkful.
Despite being an accident, it's still surreal to think that Dumbo and Timothy got drunk in the first film. Of course, what's even more surreal is the intoxicating Pink Elephants on Parade number that ensues. Since the Motion Picture Association of America didn't have a film rating system in 1941, this detail completely flew past the censors. Seeing how guidelines have become stricter in recent years, however, it's not surprising that this plot detail was omitted from the PG remake. At one point, Danny DeVito's Max actually instructs somebody not to give booze to an elephant, a clear nod to the original. Even though Dumbo doesn't get plastered, the pink elephants still make an appearance, albeit in the form of a giant bubble show at Dreamland. Number 6. It's not a musical. Where the original film was a fully fledged musical, the remake presents its narrative in a more straightforward fashion. Songs like Look Out for Mr. Stork, Casey Jr., and When I See an Elephant Fly are cut out of the equation. Although glimpses of the first film soundtrack do pop up through a few lines of dialogue, musical cues, and visual references. The only song that's actually performed is the Oscar-nominated Baby Mine. Even then, however, a character is just singing the song around a campfire, as opposed to breaking out in a spontaneous musical number. The filmmakers did something similar with The Bare Necessities in 2016's The Jungle Book, which also stripped away many of its predecessor's musical elements. Number 5. Human characters.
Welcome, baby Dumbo.
While Dumbo still takes center stage, The supporting cast mainly consists of new human characters here. Instead of Timothy, Dumbo's caretakers are Holt Ferrier, a one-armed war veteran, and his children, Millie and Joe. Rather than performing in the circus, Millie prefers working behind the scenes. Wanting to be appreciated for her mind, she incorporates a feminist undertone that wasn't present in the original film. Millie isn't the only feminist, as the trapeze artist Colette wishes to get out from under the oppressive thumb of V.A. Vanderveer, while Miss Atlantis rebels against authority by tossing a couple of guards overboard. This helps to bolster the ultimate message that Mrs. Jumbo is just a mother whose strength is truly shown when trying to protect her son.
Look at me. We're gonna bring your mama home.
Number 4. Missing characters.
Oh, tell me, did I say anything?
Perfectly harmless remark.
With the addition of several new characters, a few notable names from the first film are subtracted. Although Dumbo and Mrs. Jumbo aren't the only elephants in the movie, the elephant matriarch and her gossipy followers are nowhere to be found. Also missing are the crows who give Dumbo the magic feather that motivates him to fly. Considering the controversy the crows have stirred up in recent years though, their absence doesn't come as a huge shock. Perhaps the most glaring omission is Timothy, who acted as Dumbo's friend and manager. Then again, Timothy's role is essentially filled by the Ferrier family here. Plus, even if he's not referred to by name, a mouse wearing Timothy's signature red outfit does make a few minor appearances. Number 3. The animals don't talk. Dumbo never really spoke in the animated version, and that remains unchanged here. One major change, however, is that none of the other animals talk either this time around. Perhaps that's why many of the animal characters from the original movie are MIA. After all, the elephant matriarch and Jim Crow don't serve much of a purpose without the ability to talk. This isn't the first time a live-action Disney remake has made the animals mute. In the 1996 version of 101 Dalmatians, Pongo, Purdy, and their puppies were all silent stars, unlike the 1961 classic where animals communicated with each other in English. Given how they both treat animals, could V.A. Vanderveer be related to Cruella de Vil?
I live for furs. I worship furs.
Number 2. Dumbo flies early on.
Dumbo, you're standing on the threshold of success.
Despite being one of his defining characteristics, Dumbo doesn't take flight until the final act of the animated film. In the remake, Millie and Joe see Dumbo flap his ears off the ground within the first half hour or so. Dumbo demonstrating how high he can soar during the clown's burning building routine in front of a live audience was the climax of the first film, whereas it's merely the ending of the second act here. Then again, the original was just barely over an hour long, which is considerably shorter than what modern audiences have come to expect from feature films. So it makes sense that the remake's second half would delve into uncharted territory.
Fly, Dumbo. Fly.
Number 1. The ending. We all know that the story of Dumbo ends with the titular elephant becoming a superstar and freeing his mother from captivity. Dumbo and Mrs. Jumbo are happily reunited in the remake as well, but instead of returning to the circus, the mother and son are returned to the wild where they can live in peace. One can't help but wonder if this decision was made in response to the controversy that the now-defunct Ringling Brothers Circus attracted concerning animal care. Another factor might have been Disney's ties to the National Elephant Center, which was closed down in 2016 following multiple elephant deaths. In any case, one major question remains. Now that Dumbo's free, will he cross paths with Simba in the new Lion King? Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.